Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5. We will explain about ionic compounds and its nomenclature. In Group 5, there is Annaya Keisya, Ayu Nursalamah, Fildzah Nabiila, and Nadia Adristi. Next slide, please. Before we know about ionic compound, we must know about ionics. What is ionic? Ionic can be defined as atoms are able to transfer electrons between one another when they react to yield electrically changes particles. So, ionic compound can be defined as a reaction between metals and nonmetals. Next slide. So, there is reaction of metals with nonmetals. Metals form positive ions when they react. Example, 1A, 2A, and 3A. And nonmetals is from negative ion when they react. Example, CpNSOHVCl, Br, and I. I remember it with CPNS, ongkos hajinya via celengan BRI. There is example reaction Na2 plus Cl2 min 2 NaCl. Atomic number of Na is 11, so the configuration is 281 because Na can easier to give to electron because remove negativity, so Na have a positive sign. And atomic number of Cl is 17. The configuration is 2, 8, and 7. Because 7, so Cl easier to accept electron. Because it accepts electron negativity, so the sign is minus. Next slide. So in this slide, Annaya will explain about ions of metal.
I want to explain to ions of metals. The periodic table can help us remember the kind of ion formed by many of the representative elements or element in the A group of the periodic table. Thus, sodium is in group 1A and form an ion with a 1 plus charge. Barium or Ba is in group 2A and forms an ion with a 2 plus charge. And aluminum is in group 3A and forms an ion with a 3 plus charge. Next. And then rule for writing formula of ionic compounds. The first is the positive ion is given first in the formula. Second is the subscript in the formula must produce an electrically neutral formula unit. Third is the subscript should be the smallest set of whole numbers possible. And fourth is the charge of the ions are not included in the finished formula for the substance. Next. Question of transition and post-transition metals. The transition elements are located in the center of the periodic table from group 3B on the left to group 2B on the right, or group 3 to 12 if using the IUPAC system. All of them lie to the left of the metalloids and they all are metals. Next. Compound containing polyatomic ions are ions that are themselves composed of two or more atoms linked by the same kind of bonds that hold molecules together. The formula of compound from polyatomic ions are determined in the same way as are those of binary ionic compounds. And next material can explain with the Fildzah.
Okay, thank you, Annaya. Okay, nomenclature of ionic compounds. Chemists around the world now agree on a systematic method for naming substances that is overseen by the IUPAC. By using basic methods, we are able to write the correct formula given the name for the many compounds we will encounter. Okay, naming ionic compounds of representative elements. First, for ionic compounds, the name of the cation is given first, followed by the name of the anion. The example is K1 men is called the potassium ion, just as K is called the potassium atom. And if the metal in the compound forms only one cation, just giving the English name of the metal. Example, Na plus is the sodium ion, Ca2 plus is the calcium ion, and Al3 plus is the aluminum ion. And the last, the anion in a binary compound is formed from a nonmetal and its name is created by adding the suffix "ide" to the stem of the name for the nonmetal. Example, F1 min is called fluoride for the elemental name. For the elemental name is fluorine, and KBr is potassium bromide. And then next we'll explain with Ayu.
Okay, naming cations of transitions metals. The preferred method for naming ions of metals that can have more than one positive charge is called as the stack system. An example, copper forms two oxides, one containing Cu plus ion and the other containing Cu2 plus ion. Their names are Cu2O and CuO. Next slide, please. Okay, and the last but not least, naming ionic compounds containing polyatomic ions. Most of the polyatomic ions listed in the table 3.5 are anions, and their names are used without modification. Na2SO4 contains the sulfate ion, Si4 to the power of 2 min, and is called as sodium sulfate. CrNO3 contains the nitrate ion, and is called as NO3 min. Okay, so that's the explanation from our group. Thank you for your nice attention. If you have any questions, feel free to write it on the comment section below. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.